We're heading out to the USC Trojans, where we have Scott Schrader of USC. Scott, last weekend, USC didn't have a big visit weekend, but this weekend they sure did. What's some of the buzz that you're hearing out of campus?
Yeah, well, they had they had a pretty large group this weekend. I think it was 15 guys visited from Friday to today, and four of those guys were not committed. So you had Booby Feaster. He's just showed a little video clip, I think, of him of arriving for the party last night. You had Jalen Lott and Talanoa Ely and Peyton Dyer were the four guys, and as of this morning, hearing that it's likely to result in a couple of commits and possibly three. So we're hoping to find out at some point here later this morning on who the third might be. But right now, there's predictions put in for Talanoa Ely and for Peyton Dyer right now for USC.
How many USC commitments were around this weekend? Was there any peer-to-peer recruiting going on?
There were there were 10, 11 committed players, including Jonas Williams, who came in because they had the receivers that were in town. And you hear stories about guys like Tom Tapui and Samote Katoania and Talanoa and the Kenai Pepe, playing cards all last night, and so there's a lot of bonding going on. I think a lot of these guys have had relationships. Unlike 10 years ago, these guys, by the time they take these darn official visits now, have been on campus 3 to 5 times. So, they really do get a chance to know each other and bond with each other, and the relationships are pretty solid. And it's evident when you see those guys interacting with each other when they're on these visits too.
Yeah, and we saw some predictions rolling in. Are these commitments expected at the end of the weekend, at the beginning of the week, or were these some more of like long-term predictions?
Yeah, I think that at least one will probably be announced here, maybe even today.
Okay.
So I think there's another one that is scheduled to maybe be on Father's Day, which is June 15th. So
Yep.
we'll see about that. As far as the third, I'm not sure whether there's even going to be one or not, but sounds like that could be something that happens in the next day or two as well.
Okay. So what's next for USC? We know last weekend they kind of took it a little slow, but this weekend they're starting to crank it up. Is there more big visit weekends ahead?
Yeah, they'll have, as far as, big official visit weekends, that will be June 20th through the 22nd. But next week they've got Luke Wafel coming in. They've got Mikhail Blade and a 4-star edge from Illinois. They got Braden Jones, who's committed, and then also Eason Tafa, who's also committed. So they have a small group right now. There might be some more that will be added. I know Mark Bowman and I think Brett Koloj and somebody else might be coming also kind of midweek, the 17th through the 19th. But looking ahead, June 20th through the 22nd will be another one of those 14, 15 guy visit weekends.
Okay, and we know that USC, what are they up to 27 commitments at this point?
Yeah, 27, looking to take 35. So
still room for more.
I'd love to know what this recruiting class is going to cost when it's all said and done.
Yeah, we have been talking a lot about USC NIL. We'll have to have Pete Nakos, Pocket Watch and Pete. We'll have to have Pete Nakos on to break that one down. But Scott Schrader, you guys are doing a heck of a job covering this big visit weekend. If you guys are watching this live, there will be more coverage on USC as the guys are still on campus out on the West Coast. So you guys are going to have updates rolling all day long. Scott Schrader, USC, thanks for dropping by the Inside Scoop today.
All right, thanks, Josh. Appreciate you.